Hello. We're going to do a pick a card reading, but I've realized that I didn't shuffle all the cards back. So I'm going to pick some decks that I haven't used yet because I like when I put all the cards back, I like actually putting each card back in like a different spot in the deck and then shuffling, because then when I go and shuffle again, I know that, they're all reset and ready for me. Just to be, totally truthful and transparent, of course, that I have a process here. I don't always show myself, clearing cards and things like that on the channel, just because it's sort of a part of the process that feels more like behind the curtain, like it's not really that necessary for you to see. But I just like showing, I'm integral with my practice. I'm a pretty casual spiritual healing practitioner. I don't have a bunch of rules about things like when a client is with me and they ask to use my cards, like, yeah, I've blessed the space, like, and everything in it. You have permission, like everything in here is open, to me. And I respect if you have, rules or you keep certain things sacred for, whatever reasons you have, that's totally fine. But yeah, I don't have that many rules. So this, and shamanic healing. So we're going to do a 3-card, pick a card. It's going to be guidance for maybe the week. I'm going to do them quick, just because I really am feeling that would be fun. Like it'd be a fun, little burst of energy for us. Okay. And it's feeling like the collective energy, took longer than I actually expected this morning. So this is the way it needs to be done. Aww. So I'm just pulling some cards for, our 3 pick a card, piles. And then I'll pull some for that, pull 1 for these. Great. Awesome. So we have new love. That's why I went, oh, new love, answered prayer, and divine guidance. So new love, answered prayer, and divine guidance. So pick a card that resonates with you. You can look at the time codes down below, or you're welcome, especially because these are going to be kind of quick bursts, you're welcome to listen to the whole video and just tune into what you hear, right? So one way that's really cool to listen to readings if you're, in the middle of something, if you're, on a walk or whatever, is if you actually think about it as my mind is going to take the information that I need from this reading, right? So and that's what I always say when people work with me too. I'm going to start shuffling these here. When people start working with me as well, I make sure that they understand that you don't have to remember everything I say. Sometimes I talk fast and sometimes I talk very directly. And sometimes I talk a little bit vaguely and esoterically or a little more metaphorically, symbolically maybe. And so sometimes it takes time for that to make sense to you and also to me. I sometimes say things to myself and they don't make sense. They don't deepen in understanding until much later. I'm like, that sounds true. I don't know what it means, but okay. And then later on, it'll be obvious to me why I was saying that. One that came into my head recently was one that came into my head recently was, this is going to take time. And I thought, okay, yeah, that sounds true. I don't know what you're talking about. And it snapped into my head and it was like, boo, 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 boo. It had all these different ways that it was relating to multiple different things, but with different meanings. Yeah, it's going to take time. Okay. Almost done. I'm going to pull 3 of the archetype cards for each pile, just so that I find with these archetype cards, they're sort of like characters within ourselves, right? So it sort of gives you extra validation if you see yourself in these. So pile 1, new love. Pile 1. Oh, I love Clearly I'm in such a good lovey-dovey mood today. I love winter and I think it's this beautiful blank slate, clean canvas, fresh feeling. It feels crisp and snowy and so snowy here today. I see it in all the different windows of my house, so I'm so excited. Okay, poet. We have expresses soul insights in symbolic language, which is funny. I was just talking about like having symbolic language, so that's interesting. Turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. So that's the shadow attribute. So light being expressing soul insights in symbolic language. I see two doves also. So if we're talking about new love, this is probably the like, you know, twin flame, romance, soulmate, what have you, pile. This week, it's so feeling like the light side of this energy. So I'm really excited for you. It feels like you're just going to feel like inspired, like creative, and it's going to feel like you feel like that, you know, that sense of romance where you just feel like you want to say things and express what's on your heart, or like you just want to go write it down on a napkin. Like, you know, it's like I just feel so in love with this flower, this single flower I just walked by, you know, that type of feeling. That feels like what's coming for you this week, which is so exciting. New love and you know, poetry. That's so sweet. We have God, light attributes, benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Whew. The shadow attribute is despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. You know what, pile one, I'm really feeling like for you, you're feeling like a lot on the light sides of things. Ah, okay. The next card is the shadow attribute. So these two first cards, poet and God, are actually the light attributes. You might be like, excuse me, I'm God? And well, yeah, you know what? We all are. We're all an expression, right? So there is that truth. But the light attribute here saying benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. I feel you've been in a place of stagnancy or of challenge, of strife for quite a while. And so this full force, eternal force is like, yeah, you've got this. You've got everything you need inside of you. You're like really, really powerful. And part of what makes you so powerful is the fact that you express yourself, right? So perhaps this time, aside from yourself, where you've not been feeling like yourself, it's actually because you weren't expressing yourself, or you thought you were, but it wasn't the truth. Maybe you thought you were working towards, and you know what? You just have to do it. You have to do it. You have to express yourself in order to express yourself. And sometimes it's messy. And that may be what happened. It may be that there was like a love thing already connected with you. And so now you're feeling like a lot more clear-headed. You're feeling like you can see things with a romantic view again, and like a lighter view, and like and like recognizing who the heck you are. Like that, it feels like you're like, yeah, you're getting that kind of, it's almost like peacock energy. It's like beautiful romantic colors, but like here, you know, that's sort of the feeling. Alchemist is the third one here. It says transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom, which is the beautiful side of the alchemist, right? To take certain things and make them into something that just seemed almost impossible, or it seemed surreal. The shadow attribute is misuse of the power and knowledge that come through spiritual practice. And I believe this misuse was actually inaction. So I believe that you've come from a place, maybe recently, maybe not so recently. You're doing really well. So don't take this to heart or anything in a negative sense. But it feels like maybe you put yourself on like a hiatus of some kind, like on a pause. Yeah, and it's feeling like the knowledge and wisdom that you gained at that time was really useful, but then you withheld it. So it's like that expression piece, like you weren't expressing yourself where it counted maybe. So you were expressing yourself, but not in the direction it needed to go. So it's like you were doing it, but not in the right way, is what I'm hearing. So moving forward to this week, what do we need to keep in mind? So if that's you, that's beautiful. You have such a lovely energy. Oh, I love this. This is actually one of my favorite cards. Magic. Get the book out here. Okay, magic. 33 is the number there. 33 is my life path number, actually. So fun stuff. Okay, I'm seeing a few different spots on this page, so I'm just going to read out. The symbol represents the infinite intelligence of Great Spirit that makes up the fundamental fabric of the universe. We experience the evidence of this magic through synchronicity or meaningful coincidence. So lots of synchronicities might be happening to you this week. Meaningful coincidence, maybe. It may be that you're also meant to take the signs from those synchronicities that you've been seeing. Understand that magic is inherently within this universe. So you don't need to do anything to create it. Like, it's existing already. It's here. It's already here. Okay, and then I'm jumping to this section here. This is a sign that Spirit is reminding you that you co-create your world in a sacred partnership. So whether that's a sacred partnership, like you co-create your world when you're in sacred partnership, or you're co-creating your world and that itself is a sacred partnership, both are going to relate to this pile I'm hearing. Because it's true, both are actually true for you. It feels like, yeah, 100%, you are this like masterful creator of like all that you desire. Like what you want, you basically can figure out how to get. And that's so cool. You co-create with the world and you do it in service, and you want to make good things happen in the world. You want to only, you know, with great power comes great responsibility. You only want to do good with this, that you're this gift that you have of being able to like make stuff happen, like really make stuff happen. Okay. But the other side of this is that when you're in a strong partnership, truly in love, you express yourself in such a way that is so truly you, that you co-create your world with that partner. So there's like a beautiful like power couple, like new energy kind of vibe with this group, which is very exciting. So hopefully that's, you know, if it's not currently in your reality, it's on its way, because this came to you. Your part is to dream, to intend, and to watch for the signs, right? Signs and synchronicities, to watch for the signs that show you what next action to take. Right now, it appears you're on the right track to make your dreams come true. Great Spirit is listening and acting on your behalf. Pay attention. Magic gives birth to miracles. I love that. Do you believe in magic? I actually do have an okay voice. Like I just always sing weirdly when I I think it's better to sing in a obnoxious or silly way maybe. But Do You Believe in Magic is the song that's coming to mind. It's such a fun song. It's actually just like a nice one to, maybe you need to listen to that song today. Kind of put the music on, get yourself in a good mood. Find some ways to play, pile one. I'm just like, my cheeks are like hurting. I'm so excited for you. I'm like loving all of the I'm loving all the good things that are happening in your world and about to happen this week. And yeah, I'm really excited for you to speak your truth and to express yourself fully. I think it's going to be so good for you, pile one. Okay, now we're going to move on to pile two. Pile two, answered prayer. Whoa, it's funny. That's like a super energy shift from pile one. I'm getting some like headachiness and some like low back stiffness. Like Tin Man needs some oil or something. So maybe some stretching would be useful for you, pile two. Whew. Okay. So I've pulled your archetype cards, but then I'm going to pull the Mystical Shaman Oracle live for you to see. It just makes it a bit faster. So Rebel here, I'm getting the shadow attribute, so I'm going to read that first here. It says, rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. The light attribute of the rebel is challenges authority to effect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. So that's a beautiful thing to do. Obviously, it's really important for you to rebel against anything which does not serve your truth, your innermost truth, the thing that feels most you. The shadow attribute saying rejects legitimate authority out of anger. I'm wondering whether maybe you've been lashing out lately, because I'm feeling like a lot of instability in your root and some like disbelief that, you know, you're protected, you're safe, that there's, that you're allowed to be here. There's a deeper reason. So you've just been very like angry at your external environments. It feels like, I wonder in which ways you've been rebelling. There's so many different ways we can like self-sabotage and so many different ways we can rebel against authority. So I'm curious what you feel you've been told lately that you're rebelling against. It is feeling like some of the rebellion that you've been engaging in feels like it's not you. And it also feels like you are a rebel at heart. So that may be very confusing, right? To like, I don't know, to reconcile with the fact that, yeah, there's a part of you that's acting out, and there's a part of you that is acting right at the same time, somehow. Okay, I'm going to keep reading here just to see what else comes through. We've got the Judge, says balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. And the Shadow attribute is offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. I'm really feeling it's the Light attribute of Judge, which is managing the fair distribution of power. Okay. This is a group that's been deeply sensitive to, angered by, irritated by the powers that be, the authorities, and I'm hearing like societal and government structures. And I'm getting a lot of like ear, like itchiness, discomfort, like some ringing. Like there's like a lot of stuff happening in my ears right now, and it wasn't like a couple minutes ago. And a fuzz, like a hair in my mouth. There's like a bunch of different, that was like a bunch of different uncomfortable things happening. So maybe you're also feeling really like, like uncomfortable. There's like lots of things around you that are sort of like bugging you or irritating you. And that may be why you're feeling like lashing out. Yeah. And the ear thing is about, yeah, the ear thing is about power. So I'm laughing because I keep feeling like, uh-oh, like you're getting angry. There's someone really pissing you off. Like there's someone saying something near you that just feels like, no, that's not correct. And I don't even know how you could think that, you know, like, yeah, it's really funny. I don't, maybe I do have this. I don't feel like I have this in my current life right now, but it's like such an intense energy when that comes in, right? Like that feeling of like that's incongruent with my soul, like just for you to say such a thing is so, oh yeah, you know what, this did come up. I always see everything that comes up in these piles, like I see everything in some microcosm in my life. Yeah, i think um I think there's part of you that's not fully showing who you are right now, and so because of that, this rebelling seems more like anger and like angst or teenagery kind of attitude, and the balancing fair power feels like it's not even possible because you feel in that teenagery energy. So it's important for you to like hone in on that rebel, the warrior side of yourself, because I feel that's what's really going to help you deeply root in to the things that are upsetting to you and like take action on them rather than just like being angry. Like the emotions aren't helpful, the actions are helpful, right? When activists feel things, it encourages them to like go out and make a statement about it, right? So it's like, I don't know, say you're going to a protest, you're making a sign, okay? So you feel the emotion, which causes you to make the sign, but it's the sign that shows up, right? It's not like the emotion that shows up at the time that it's needed. So I don't know, something about that is useful to you, hopefully. Sure, will be useful to at least one person. And then we have this king energy as well. So this might be you where you've come from, but also where you're going to. So keep in mind, if you hear something that's positive that you like want to move towards, because that's what I'm feeling with this king energy, that it was like, yeah, that's what I want to be. Like, that's what I heard. Yeah, I want to be a king. I want to be that king energy. Or queen energy, I don't know, whichever, but I'm gonna use king, and I personally like having a certain level of masculine energy in myself, so I invite you to feel okay with that as well. King energy is like, that's what I want, that's what I want to move towards. But I have to say, like, if you already want that, you already are that, you know. If you're like, I want to be that king energy, like you are that king, like you, that's why you're looking at it, you know. It seems to make so much sense to me to say it that way, and I hope it makes sense to you, but it just feels so silly to like discredit the fact that something you want isn't already what you are, and you're just waiting to express it in the right way, or you're just finding an opportunity to show up to that, right? Yeah, okay. Another note for this group. Like, really heavy-handed, it feels like. But the other thing you're being told is like to not wait for the opportunity, to not wait for the time to be right, to actually step into that true rebellion and that true king energy right now. So the king, again, enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those who are in your charge. So maybe people who have been in your care or in your, eyes or in your heart haven't actually been benefited by you. And I feel like you've withheld you've withheld something from the world or from your own heart or from like the person involved in the situation for you. The shadow attribute is excessive feelings of entitlement and rulership without restraint. So I do feel like power, authority, control are things that you really struggle with on an emotional level. Like it feels like emotionally, you're like, I don't even know how to hold space for the king and also the person trying to take down the king, I think that's why you've been feeling conflicted lately. Like you're feeling like both the king and the person trying to remove the king from power. And so maybe you've been self-sabotaging a lot. Just pulled lightning for you, pile 2. I'm so excited for you to get back to, return to your king energy, because man, when that energy is around, everybody knows it, right? Doesn't everybody just go, oh, like when you're in that energy, when you've been in that energy before, because again, pile 2, like you've been in king energy before, that's why you want to return to it. When you're in that energy, don't you find like magic happens? Like it's so easy for stuff to just get done and like people look up to you, like they really see you as something else, like something special. Okay. Life has gifted you with a destiny that is in alignment with your passion and in harmony with all existence on earth. Now lightning has come to jolt you into accepting your destiny. Yeah. Accept your destiny. So good. Oh, this makes me so happy that this is the card that came out for you, pile 2. Now lightning has come to jolt you into accepting your destiny. Let this initiation release what is in the way of fulfilling your life purpose. Otherwise, you'll be bound to your karmic fate. This is a time to be courageous and daring. So I do get the feeling, pile 3, like you've taken a bit of like an easy way out or like a wrong way out, like just the long way around. I'm hearing you took the long way around getting to this place, and now this jolt, I believe part of it's going to happen from you, but also part of it is just going to be like something clicks and then the world tells you like it's time to live your destiny. Sorry, I'm fidgeting so much and I keep kicking things on the table. Your destiny is here. It's the time to move. It's time to like put things back in order, rearrange stuff. Oh, I love that. Pile 2, that's so exciting. So this is your weekly reading, pile 2. I'm very excited to see what lightning brings for you this week. And yeah, we'll see you soon. And pile 3, we're moving on to you next. Pile 3, divine guidance. Okay. These have all felt like really different energies today because it like shifts instantly. Like I feel it in my body shifting as soon as I pull up the new card. Feeling like you've been really heavy-hearted, pile 3. Feeling like you've been like a little bit weighed down. Like my shoulders are kind of feeling like, oh, that kind of burdensome energy. Sorry, I'm like trying to fix it for you, trying to stretch it out. Yeah, actually, pile 3, if you haven't done a stretch like this in a long time, just putting your arms up, putting your hands back even, please do that. It would feel really nice on your shoulders. Just get everything kind of corrected. Okay. Oh, now I know why you're feeling this heavy heart. Pile 3, Virgin, maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit, and the shadow, fear of intimate union. So you may have been feeling this like this heavy-heartedness because it's actually you're trying to equalize with what's happening outside of yourself, and it's very challenging to do that when you're such a pure heart. Like it's very hard to like look at what's going on outside in the world and just maintain that purity. And so I think that's what you've been feeling. You've just been in like a time where you needed to like, bundle up, and that's what I'm hearing as well. Okay, priest. Very, very pure energy, which makes sense why you're feeling so much of other people's feelings and other people's emotions. So I would say this group, if you don't already identify with the word empath, you're probably an empath or an intuitive of some kind. Because I'm also feeling like a lot of these emotions actually aren't yours. And so you're just swimming in this sea of like, have you ever seen, have you ever seen Scooby-Doo? There's like a Scooby-Doo movie that's like live action. And there's like a pool of, this is really, I hope you understand this reference, someone in this pile. Please tell me in the comments if you do. There's like a pool of souls, okay? It can also be like Harry Potter with like the memory pool as well. If you look at it from this aspect, it's like you're swimming in all of these different soul parts and soul energies, and all these things are attached to you because you're so magnetic, like you're so sensitive that they attach, and you feel them and you go, oh, I'll help you with that. I'll help you. Oh, I can help with that, and then it leaves you into being like, ugh. And like, I'm hearing like, I don't like people. Like, I don't want to be around people. And so it's important for you to like learn how to open and stretch your heart, be like the Grinch, like open. I don't know why there's so many references in this pile. It just feels funny. I don't normally make that many movie and show references, but feels like you really need to like open up. Like it almost feels like Cage, like you need something to really open up your heart. And maybe that's what's happening this week. So we have the priest here, facilitates spiritual commitments, serves as a channel of spiritual energy. So if you're a channel of spiritual energy, you're not taking on things and keeping them held within you, right? Because if you're a channel, you're letting it clear and go through you. So something that's key for you, maybe this week to learn, pile 3, is how to just release all those things so that those people can deal with them again. Like we can't deal with our pain if someone's kind of processing it for us, right? We're like, oh, it'll get figured out. I don't really want to touch that. You need to pass it back energetically, emotionally in some way. The shadow attribute of the priest is it violates the trust of your spiritual community, and you're seduced by your own spiritual role. And I would say this is true of most healing practitioners that I have come in contact with. And whether or not you're a practitioner or not, you may be just someone who's very loving and surrounded by many people who look to you for support and guidance and things. And when you get very enamored by that role, it can feel very egoic, and like you do need to be very careful or conscientious maybe about not holding on everyone's stuff saying, oh, I've got this, I can fix it, because it's only hurting you. Like you have to release that stuff because you're only helpful to others when you're just taking care of yourself, doing your thing and being present for them to use you as a channel. But if they use you as a channel and then you go, oh, I can help you with this, I'm going to keep it right here. They go, oh, okay. And they don't actually go and resolve it. It's hard to maybe describe in this very quick fashion here. I hope that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, please reach out to me because I'm happy to help you with this concept. If you're like, that was making sense, but it didn't really land, Kate. But being seduced by your own spiritual role is like really feeling as though you're like the savior, like the martyr. You're the one who's going to help the world. So then you take all that pressure on when really like we're all going to help the world. Like all of us being our beautiful, loving, true self, there's room for all of us to be that. So, okay, vampire. Ooh, very interesting reading so far, pile 3. You're like all over the place, and I'm going to wrap it up decently quickly here too. So I'm going to start shuffling for your Mystical Shaman Oracle card. If you're wanting more on this reading, like for yourself, you may want to book a reading with me. I haven't actually told any of the other piles that, but pile 3, it seems to be a lot going on for you, and like some extra support could be real nice at this time. Okay. Vampire. The light attribute is that it makes you aware that someone or something outside of yourself is draining your life force. So when I'm talking about this burden, this life force, this pool of souls that is just attached to you, like that's what I'm talking about. The shadow attribute is depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining, and codependency. So I believe you're dealing with a lot of these parts right now. The complaining, the codependency on others to make you feel better about yourself when you've actually got the power to do that. And you've actually got the power to help a lot of other people as well. And so you're limiting yourself by saying, oh, this is weighing me down. Like I can't move away from anything because of this thing, or it feels like I don't have any time to focus on myself because I'm so worried about other people. Like, you know, all these kinds of stories, like that's not true. You can focus on yourself and you can help other people by doing that. And there's room for all of it. Chronic complaining, codependency, and knowing that all that is teaching you is that that's not what you want to do, right? You're complaining because you don't like something about your current situation. Instead of complaining, do the thing. Because the thing is, like, no one does stuff for you, unfortunately. Like maybe, I don't know, maybe you're really rich or maybe you're very persuasive and, you know, people do stuff for you, but no one's going to do the real soul work for you. You have to do that for yourself because that's why we're all here, right? That's why we're all here, to learn and to grow, to do those things. We have the Rainmaker here. And we also have the Wild Woman, and like, I do need to wrap this up. I have things to do, Spirit, like, please. But I am going to read from them because I was like hoping I would get the permission, you know, internally, intuition wise. I was hoping I'd get the permission just to read this card to you, but I gotta read both. And it's 42 and 62. So 4, 6, add up to 2, or sorry, 6 minus 4. Make 2, 4 plus 2, add up to 6, 62, 42, 2, 2, 2. You might be seeing 2s a lot. That might be like a symbolic number for you. Okay, the Rainmaker is the master of manifestation who can call on the elements of nature to serve the greater good. That's you. Pile 3, when the power to co-create is used with integrity, great beauty and benefit flow to all. So recognize how you're co-creating your world. Nothing is happening out there without your involvement. Remember that the world is only mirroring back to you the condition of your love and your intent. So change those things within, right? Go within before you take any action, and do not take life so personally. Like this complaining, this codependency, it's like, it's really just holding you back. Like it's not doing anything for anyone. And to be honest, people care, but no one's going to change it. You're going to complain, and no one's going to shift it. You're going to have to shift it yourself. You know, you're your best ally and best resource in this lifetime. Excess for its own sake is a sign of imbalance. So what have you been doing in excess? What have you been enjoying in excess? What have you been buying maybe? This is a warning that you might be trapped in obsessive thinking or behavior, looking for release in places that will never provide it. Okay. Yeah, now is the time to simplify, to be mindful and connect to that light within. And that's what I'm feeling in the collective. So you're definitely right on track with what everyone's feeling, but you need to take action in the direction of your heart. Okay. It's so simple. That's all that's needed for you at this time. That's really all that's needed. Yeah. When the Wild Woman dances into your reading, she reminds you of the essence of authenticity and freedom. Authenticity and freedom. Yeah, it feels like you're letting go of a lot of social constraints, a lot of like family expectations, people expectations, personal self-sabotage. It feels like you're letting go of addictive behaviors, habits, and fear at its core, right? Feels like you're letting go of masks as well, of like being a version of yourself that you're not. Feels like you're just like finally letting go of the drama of the story of that. Ooh, this is a very powerful week for you, pile 3. Like, yeah, a lot of stuff going on in here. Please make sure you take care of your diet. I'm feeling like a lot of like stomach tension and disruption. It may be because you're very nervous, but it may be because you haven't really been eating the way that your body would like you to eat. Drink a lot of water. Feels like a lot of stuff is going to be shifting this week. And so you just want to make sure you're feeling prime, ready for it. Feeling hydrated, fed, you know, nourished, and good to go. So thank you so much, pile 3. Again, would love to do a personal reading with you. You can book below if you would like to do that. And we will see you soon. So take care and enjoy your week.